When last we left our intrepid adventurers, Scala and Mary had been murdered by the woman known as Tanda Avan. Their bodies were recovered, but Morgan cannot raise them back to life unless she is in a temple of Chaldicea. Marcus suggests Stephen's Hold, where they visited several weeks ago. However, they're not sure what happened there because when they left, the city was about to be sieged by the northern Deserodans. They're not sure if they're going to be able to even get into the city and if it's friendly or not. Serrif isn't too happy about going back to Stephen's Hold because the last time he was there, he had a really bad dream. However, he wants to help get Scala back, so he decides to go with them. They take one of the carts and put the bodies in it, and then cover them over with several blankets, and then they head north along the canal road. Getting into Stephen's Hold seems easier than they thought. It doesn't look like a siege happened. There are people going in and out of the keep, and there are townspeople everywhere. The suggestion is that Serrif and Kerberdane go in and scout, but Serrif doesn't want to go anywhere near the temple, so Akai and Kerberdane go in. They're able to walk in and walk around town with no interference. Akai talks to one of the bar women at the inn. She asks about the siege. What happened? The woman says that Stephen's Hold has been left alone, as long as they don't try to block the canal. After several beers, they head back out to where the rest of the party is hiding. The characters wait for evening, and then, pushing the cart, they head onto the main road. Even after dark, there's a lot of business going on. Much of it is northern Deserodan soldiers sneaking into town for a taste of forbidden pleasure. It seems that because of that, the northerners haven't posted sentries, and they don't seem to be looking closely at anybody. After a few minutes, they get to the main street and take the bodies to the temple. Morgan opens the temple door and goes inside, leaving Akai and Serrif in the shadows to guard the rear. The temple's been closed down. There's a note on the entrance that says that Hallister has gone to minister to the troops in the field. Morgan mentions to Marcus that she never liked Hallister. He had been in the running for her position of High Priestess of the Deserodan Temple, but had been voted down by the rest of the church hierarchy. She noted that all those in the hierarchy were gone, and now it was only her and him in the priesthood. Kerberdane reminds them they really need to hurry up and get the spell done. Morgan uses a set of priestly robes she finds in the sanctum and begins the ritual that will bring Scala and Mary back to life. Magnus and Serrif are talking. Magnus says that he's found some of his countrymen at the inn. He thanks them for their help and leaves the party. A little bit later, Akai and Serrif are still guarding the temple doors when a woman walks by. From her dress, it's obvious she's a streetwalker. She notices them and walks over. The woman ignores Akai and slaps Serrif. He catches her hand when she attempts a second slap. He asks her why she's hitting him. The woman says that when he was with her last night, he failed to pay money for extra services that he promised her. Akai vouches for Serrif that he wasn't in town last night. She gives him a disbelieving shrug. Serrif hands her a few gold to cover his brother's debts, and she leaves. Serrif and Akai discuss how this phantom Serrif seems to precede him and always leaves some sort of mess that has to be cleaned up by Serrif. They continue discussing this until the doors open and Morgan, Marcus, Kerberdane come out, helping a hobbling Scala and Mary through the door. They get them up onto the handcart and then head out of town. It's the same path they took the last time they left Stephen's Hold. They travel through the forest for about an hour. It's the middle of the night when they arrive at the split in the road. The party holds a quick conference. There are 3 directions that the road goes. South leads to Fortress Lament. They know that the siege continues there and feels that if they do go there, they'll be unable to find a boat. The northern road goes to Deserata, and nobody wants to go where Jakena's Dystaria holds absolute sway. East is a well-traveled road called the Hard Pass. The road goes up into the mountains, across a pass, and down the other side to a trade road that goes to the port city of Kodai on the inner sea. The port is held by the Manthusian Combine, who are enemies of northern Deserata. Although it'll be a long and dangerous trip, they feel that they can probably catch a boat there. They push the handcart onto the road and head east. Most of the next day is spent traveling. Occasionally, they're forced off the road by passing squads of northern Deseratan cavalry. The soldiers don't pay them any attention. Slowly, the road begins to climb up into the hills. One advantage in this is they see fewer and fewer patrols. The path in some cases is cut into the sides of mountains. They pass a small road that goes to the town of Gaul. That was the place where the party defeated the vampire lord Medorus. Medorus was driven from the Tower of Night, and the village was freed. There is some unfinished business there, but they feel that the current mission takes precedent. Also, they know that there are probably still eyes watching Gaul, and so they decide to move on. In the middle of the night, Mary, who is the mouth of the goddess and one of Morgan's charges, begins to glow. She rises into the air and takes on the countenance of Lady Chaldicea herself. She tells Paladin Marcus that she is pleased with him and wants him to know that he will be reunited with his wife. However, that will not be for a very, very long time. She says that the path will be hard, and he must not give in to fear or despair. The goddess then looks at Scala and says that Scala owes her something for all that the goddess has done for her and will do in the future. She says that she will send mercy to Scala when she needs it most, but she will face hardship in the end before being taken to heaven. Serrif questions the lady out loud about his path. She shakes her head and says that his path is one that bends and winds back onto itself, and he is beyond her care. Chaldicea tells the rest of the party that it isn't as safe as she thought for her mouth to be taken human form, so she is calling her back to heaven. Mary disappears in a sparkle of blue lights, and the party is left to discuss what just happened.